Shalom, this is Sharban Shrala, analyzed in camp, located here just for Florida. First and foremost, I'd like to praise honor and glory to the Father and Son, in the proper true Hebrew tongue. Call, Halayam La, Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Ha, Bukar Kodash Ma'amaf. Also, double honors to elders and apostles of GMS, double honors to my apostles as well, down in the lines in camp. Ahara One by Sharala, peace and blessings to 1/3, and say, sit off for elect. All right, this is going on a simple lesson, simple to understand. Going to our people, and of course, your child, you shoot yourself, and shoot us for the Lord, and us for the Lord as well as children. This is the way we should be in. And this is Ecclesiasticus, also known as the Book of Sirach. From start of verse 8. It says, verse 8, it says, "And the horse not broken, will cometh headstrong." So that's for two of our people. Our people are, they're stiff necked people, and they're headstrong. They're headstrong in the ways of wickedness, not in the ways of Yahweh Bashim Shai. A wild horse, when it's not broken in, is gonna be butt wild. You try to get on a wild horse, it'll buck you right off. You know, just like the ways of the world. If they're not broken into to the way of how you're supposed to be with laws, such commandments that's given to us by the Lord Yahweh, by Shemel Shai, they're not gonna come to their senses. They're gonna be like a wild animal, just like the other heathens. That's what they call Gentiles, because they're in a Gentile state of mind. They believe themselves to be in good case because of what's going on in their lives. They're good, even if they're not good. They can be homeless lame. They can be physically lame, and they'll still not turn on to the way of Yahweh Shai, because they're just gonna keep kicking like that. They're gonna keep bucking because that's how they were trained, man. They weren't trained properly, so that's how they're gonna be for always. If the Lord ordained them to be that way, that's how they're gonna be always. All right. So once again, verse 8, it says, "And the horse not broken becometh headstrong." Once again, to the people, man. That's exactly what they're doing in today's time. They headstrong, man. You know, they they don't believe in Yahweh Shema Shai. They will always literally buck up at Yahweh Shai, literally. So his men as well. Anytime they see a righteous man, they're gonna they're gonna try to bug it off. You know, they're gonna try to go do everything to get that away from them, just like a wild horse. Once again, all right, just going to the people, man. It says, "And a child left to himself will be willful." All right, so a child without a parent, without a proper mother or essentially a proper father, without to give him a rod to show him what's good and bad, to show him that you did something wrong, you gotta pay for it. Just like how the Lord works. If you do something wrong in the eyes of the Lord's gonna judge you for it. That's how the world works. It's how it has worked. People have forgotten about the Lord. So that's how people were able to just get it, feel like they're getting away with stuff. Nah, the Lord is judging. And when people pass, it's either for a good reason, for a bad reason. Maybe because they sickly, like King David's child. Maybe you sickly in this world. The Lord don't want to torment you forever. You got to pass away, and you'll be at rest in this life. Your body will be turned, good, be given back to the earth, and your spirit go to the Father. All right, and for the people that be judged, righteously, but of course, because of their wicked deeds, you'll see that because of they drug lords, they whoremongers, they passes for filthy lucre. You can tell what the Lord is judging them for. They're judging for being deceivers. And that go for two other people in these heathens as well. All right, but verse 9, it says, "Conquer thy child." Train him right, basically, man. It says, "And he shall make thee what's it like here? Nah, that wasn't. It said, "Conquer that child, and he shall make thee afraid. Play with him, and he will bring thee heaviness." All right, make sure you do the right things for the Lord. I'm gonna get conquer that child. That like it, not to train him right. Conquer that child means to spoil. Don't spoil your child. And he shall make so conquer that child, and he shall make you afraid. Play with him, he will bring thee heaviness. So for a child, you're supposed to put the belt on him, man. just like the Lord do for us. We're in a state right now where the Lord has put the belt on us, and now we got to turn and we got to remember Him. We got to repent. We got to turn back to the Lord so we can get salvation from out of this place that's damnable, and all these damnable heresies that's here. This blasphemous place called Babylon, man. The Babylon the Great, the whore, the place that we're in right now, currently, man. Where we reside in Jacksonville, Florida, wherever, Alabama, Massachusetts, Baltimore, whatever. Everyone in this place got to be destroyed, going to be turned to a lake of fire, and the Lord will make sure that happens. He's just man to make sure it's known, and He's gonna make sure he does it through His power as well, through being the Most High Yahweh, and of course through His Son as well, Yahweh Shai, and His angels. It says, verse 10, laugh not with them, lest thou have sorrow with them, and lest thou gnash thy teeth in the end. Give him no liberty in his youth. You know, we're supposed to be free, but the Lord's supposed to make us free. You know, what a man or a child, ultimately a child, is supposed to learn is how to be a man, of the Lord, or a woman of the Lord, or so on and so forth. Just give him no liberty in his youth, and wink not at his follies. All right, so don't forget his follies. Don't just brush off his follies. When you see him do something folly, like all of our people right now, they need this proper instruction right now. They need to know about these holidays are wicked, right? They need to know that pork is bad, not because of Islam, not because of Muslim, because it's in the Bible. It's going back to our fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and our God, the power of the heavens that created the heavens and earth, Yahweh. That being our God, man, not Islam. That's not a good reason because they eat shellfish. We can't eat. You're not supposed to eat shellfish or get taped up. You're not supposed to commit adultery. You're not supposed to sleep with another man's woman. So these are things that we should abide by to the best of our ability. And the Lord's gonna see that. That's one of like the entry levels. You supposed to follow the laws and remember to the best of your ability. If you follow the Lord, you should want to try to follow instructions to the best of your ability. Not saying you can follow it perfectly, but to the best of your ability. That's showing that you true to Him. You can't just go around really saying you love the Lord, Lord you. You're not even doing nothing to show that. You're not going on the highways and byways. You're not trying to follow the laws and to the best of your ability. You're not telling nobody about trying to follow the laws to the best of your ability, or telling everybody going out the streets. You're not doing nothing like that. Then what are you doing? You're not really following the Lord. You're just saying you is. Just like the scriptures say that even though their mouths honor me, their heart is far from me, man. That's for 2/3 of our people. They're saying they're pastors. That you go to art cemetery schools and just get ordained by the state. They're not truly being ordained by the Most High. The priests of today's time, the men on highways and byways, they're ordained by the Most High. You go on highways and byways, their fruits will show it ultimately. All right, verse 12, it says, "Bow down his neck while he is young, and beat him on the sides while he is a child, lest he wax stubborn and be disobedient unto thee, and so bring sorrow to thine heart." So kind, man, simple as that. You supposed to make sure to shoot just like horses, just like your animals. You wouldn't want a wild sheep. You wouldn't want a wild horse, a wild ox. Where every time you trying to get them to do something, they buck up at you. That's bad. You got to put them to death. Simple as that. And with a child, you know that if he become willful, and he becomes spoiled and so on and so forth, that he's ultimately going to have to be judged by the Most High as well. You don't want your child to go down that path. So verse 13 said, "Chastise thy son and hold him to labor, lest his lewd behavior be an offense unto thee." All right. So you just like our father, our physical father on earth, if you have one, you're supposed to honor them. And or reflecting them, you can't say you hate yourself. You dishonor the Lord as well. So even still, if you have to love the Lord, our Father in heaven as well, Yahweh. So yeah. It says lest his lewd behavior be an offense to thee. So you don't want to offend your father or yourself. It's a cycle like that. So honor your father, honor of course the Most High ultimately, and follow His statute. Then shoot, Cause like it's Babylon, a lot of Father, what I mean. But nonetheless, we do have a Father in heaven that wants us to follow Him and to love Him properly, and we got to follow His ways, so we can get that the proper reward for that, man. You know. Verse 14 says, "Better is the poor being sound and strong of constitution than a rich man that is afflicted in his body." So, man, that's a wonderful scripture, man. So, better is the poor being sound and strong of constitution, man. What Solomon said, I am black but comely. Our people are impoverished, but we humble. But we still love the Lord. We still meet. We still know our purpose. Like I said, better is a poor being sound and strong constitution. So, kind of, man, anyone that's impoverished right now, but you still love the Lord Yahweh Shema Shah, that's the best thing you can do right now. It don't matter how much money or bread you have. The Lord don't care about that. The Lord care about your heart. What's inside of your spirit. Because it says, then a rich man that is afflicted in his body. Most of these people, most of these celebrities and whatnot, that they're afflicted in their body. Even if they look buff and stuff like Dwayne The Rock Johnson, they're gonna hate themselves because of the life they chosen to kneel down to Baal, the many idols, being like Hollywood and Illuminati, stuff like that. Going into like Esau, they're bound on their backs to them, like literally. You have to get up. You got to give up your manhood to be in the type of bracket and money, like Tyler Perry or whatever. So allegedly, so you have to do all that, and you have to give your soul for that. And the Lord don't work like that. The Lord, you have to give your mind and body unto Yahweh Shema Shah. Spiritually spiritually righteously. It's righteous. All right, and He made it anyways. You don't have to give up your mind and soul to the devil. He didn't make you. The Lord did. The only thing that the devil can do is shape you. So he can shape you a little bit, but he didn't create you. All right. It said verse 15, health and good estate of body are above all gold, and a strong body above infinite wealth. So man, ultimately looking at it spiritually, of course, our bodies are weak. The Lord can give us new bodies though. All right. The health and good estate of a body are above gold. So the Lord said He's going to make His men as more pure and more better than the gold of Uphaz. The most purest gold in all the lands, all of history. So the Lord is going to do that to His men. So He's going to do that physically, He's going to do it spiritually. Make sure your spirit is perfect. Make sure your body is going to be a proper temple for serving the Lord Yahweh Shema Shah, being the bodies that the Lord is going to bestow upon His men. I'm going to keep going with this. This is 2 Timothy chapter 1 verse 7. It says, for Yahweh have not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and a sound mind. So just going into having a strong constitution, a strong what was the word? Yeah, that was the word. That was the word. For Yahweh have not given us the spirit of fear, but the power and the love and a sound mind. So the Lord is offering a strong constitution to the ones that allow themselves to be instructed properly. Allow themselves to instruct people properly as well. To not conquer a child. To not to make sure that their horse is not headstrong, being to their people. Make sure that a child is not willful. These are all basically, metaphors for our people. They go hand in hand. They're headstrong. They're stiff necked. They're cocky. They spoil. They deserve the riches of the world. Now if you don't love the Lord, they become willful. They want to do their own thing. They desire desires of their own heart. That's all going to lead to the destruction and death. All right. So having that fear, having the instruction of the Lord Yahweh Shema Shah, giving that power of love and of sound mind, you're going to understand that there's nothing out in this thing that could really hurt you. But follow the Lord first. Go fear the Lord and be instructed by Him, and make sure that you have the proper parameter. Because if you don't, your glass is going to break. This is Proverbs chapter 1 and 7 says, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. My son, hear the instruction of thy father, and forsake not the law of thy mother. So kind man, we supposed to follow the law to command to the best of ability. You get on the highways and byways. These are the instructions that the Lord has commanded us, from the beginning. And the ones that's doing that from the promise that the Lord given them 2,000 years ago, they're on the highways and byways right now, giving out the correct fruit. Because there's a lot of brothers on the street right now, but not a lot of brothers doing the right thing. Because like the camps, IUIC, ISUBK, GLCC, whatever, whoever's out there, if they're not saying the right name, or they're saying the right name but not the right doctrine, then they got to get moved out of the way, and the Lord's going to do it. Once again, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. So if you fear the Lord, you're gonna know that you're gonna have the proper knowledge. But if you don't love the Lord, you don't really truly fear Him. You don't want His instruction, then you don't want His wisdom. You're not gonna get it. And people gonna see it. People gonna see that you're not wise, honestly, because you don't really fear the Lord. All right, Proverbs chapter 22 verse 6 is, once again, just to I'm trying to think the word, but basically reiterate. There we go. To reiterate the point, Proverbs chapter 22 and 6 says, "Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it." So this is the way it was to be according to the Lord. For our children and for the Lord as well, our Father in heaven. We're supposed to we're supposed to be trained in this truth. All right, this is what the Lord is doing to us, like earlier, to be called into the truth. The Lord did it. The Lord ordained that to happen. Jeremiah 1:5, he knew you before you was formed in the belly, so He ordained it to happen, and He's doing that with His truth. You got to go to the proper straights. You got to go to the straights. You got to do it the right way. To love how the Lord did it. You got to fear Him. You got to love Him. You got to show your love. You got to prove it. So the Lord's doing that right now, and then once that happens, we're gonna make sure we never going to depart from the Lord. You know what that means? I mean, the Lord's gonna give you a reward for that. Which that salvation, man. We given the kingdom. Lord will impart that number to hope for elect. But that's what the Lord's doing for us right now. And you should never want to depart from Him, because He's not gonna depart from you, because He's eternal, He's immortal. He's gonna give all that to His servants as well, man. But yeah, that was a lesson real quick. Just going on, don't conquer a child. A child without without instruction will become willful, but a child with one will become the best thing he can be. All right. But Lord willing, let's find a little lesson with that. I say shalom.